Welcome to Shulchan Machshav on the Daf. We're holding in Zevachim Daf Peites. Perek Tadir starts with the words Tadir mechaveru koidim es chaveru. Anything which is more tadir, which is more frequent, comes first. A big shaila that the poskim discuss is what happens if someone started doing the thing which is less tadir, less frequent, and then he realizes, no, but I have to do the tadir first. Do you say, should he stop what he's doing right now and go to do the Tadir? Or then I have another issue. Ein ma'avir mitzvahs. Ein ma'avir mitzvahs means once you're in the middle of doing a mitzvah, once a mitzvah is in front of you, you have to do that mitzvah and now go to do another mitzvah. So one is in the middle of doing the mitzvah which is not Tadir. Should he stop that and be over an ein ma'avir mitzvahs in order to come and fulfill that the Tadir comes first? So seemingly there's a steer about it. Because the Shulchan Aruch and Aruch Siman Chofei says that you should, after tzitzis, after talis, you put on tefillin. Because Malim Kodesh, you go up in Kodesh from talis to tefillin. And the Rosh adds over there in the beginning of Siman Chofei that there's another reason, because tzitzis is tadir. Tzitzis is more frequent. Tzitzis you wear every day. Mashayk tefillin you wear only during the weekdays. But continues the Shulchan Aruch and says, if someone by mistake hit that tefillin before he got to the talis, so then he needs to put on the tefillin first before the talis. Should not be ma'avir lamitzvahs. So seemingly, if a person already hit the mitzvah which is less tadir, like in the case over here that the tefillin is less tadir than the tzitzis, he will put in tefillin first because ein ma'avir lamitzvahs. Meaning ein ma'avir lamitzvahs now trumps kol tadir mechaveru. But on the other hand, we find in the if you have Rosh Chodesh that falls on Chanukah, so you have to start reading. First you read the parasha of Rosh Chodesh, and then you read the parasha of Chanukah. Why? Rosh Chodesh is more frequent than Chanukah. But says the Ramah in the end of Siman Tov Reish Pei Daled, that if by mistake they start reading the Kerias of Chanukah, and you realize, oh, Rosh Chodesh comes first. Says the Ramah, he has to stop reading Chanukah and go read Rosh Chodesh. Explains the Mogen Avraham why. In the middle of doing now the Kerias of Chanukah, still Rosh Chodesh has to come first. So it has the Taz on the spot. But we learned Legabe Tefillin that if he hit the Tefillin before the Talis, he puts Tefillin first. Because Ein Ma'avir Mitzvahs trumps Kol HaTodim Mechaveru. So why over here you say you're going to stop laning the Kerias of Chanukah and go to Rosh Chodesh because it's more tadir? And he brings also a raya from our perek, because in that Tzadik Aleph, the Gemara says, what happens if a person was shoichet in a tadir first? Should he wait until you do the tadir and someone else will be mimaris bedomer? Says the Taz, but if you tell me that you do the Eino Tadir first, you're not Yaitse at all, of course, the doing Eino Tadir first is not Yaitse. You're not fulfilling the mitzvah. So that's the stiro that the Achronim are dealing with. Do we say the Ein Ma'avir Mitzvahs trumps Kol HaTadir, or Kol HaTadir trumps Ein Ma'avir Mitzvahs? So Shevet HaLevi of Rav Vosner Zatzal in Chilek Gimel or Chaim Siman Zayin says a big yisoid. He says like this: there are some mitzvahs that there's a tzura of how to do the mitzvah. It was given to us by Chazal that this is the way the mitzvah needs to be fulfilled. He builds up it based on how from the idea that brought down the Ramban, you have to have the kelim of the Migdosh in order to do the avoid in the Migdosh. And if you're missing the kelim, so you're missing the tzura of Asiyas mitzvah. And it's part of the mitzvah of V'chol asher amarti lechem tishameru. He goes to bring an example, which is quoted in the Mogen Avraham, that tefillin sheyad and tefillin sherosh, that tzura is to do yad before rosh. That's the seder mitzvah. That's the order of the mitzvah. Mashaykin, we talk about tefillin and talis. It's that. Talis and tefillin are two separate mitzvahs. Yes, you do. There's a reason for talis to be first, because it's more tadir. But it's not the tzura of the mitzvah. So the same thing we talk about korbanos. When you have to do one korban before the other korban, each korban stands on its own. So you have to do one korban first because it's tadir. But if you did the other one, you haven't done any ma'avir mitzvahs. It's not going to change. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing right now. Mashaykin, when I'm talking about Kerias HaTorah, there's a tzura that's how I'm learning Torah. Chazal gave us a certain way, a certain sequence of how we're supposed to relay the Torah. And the tzura of the Kerias Hatorah that we're learning Torah over here in Shul is that we start with Rosh Chodesh and end with Chanukah. It's not just a regular in ma'avir mala mitzvahs that in the middle of something, so I'm doing something else. But there's a certain tzura, a certain way, a certain method of how the mitzvah needs to be fulfilled. You're not just changing the order, you're changing the tzura mitzvah. So maybe that's the pshat. Usually we say in ma'avir mala mitzvahs trumps Tadir. Unless that's the way the mitzvah is supposed to be done. There's a seder in the mitzvah itself. Then you say the mitzvah is supposed to be Tadir first, and Tadir second. You change the order. You have to stop what you're doing and go back and do a different way. So we learn over here in Yonah de Yoma, when you read Rosh Chodesh and Chanukah, it's not just two Kerias Hatorah, but Surah Sakriya, the Chazal misaken for us. Anyone who wants to join response to the Shomach Shava Shiurim, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.